What's up, boys? Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're having a splendid evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I just wanted to drop this because right now it's supposed to be having a team call, and obviously it's just me here, and nobody could make it this week. Totally unfortunate, but you know what? It is what it is. Usually we have at least one, usually like two, three, four people on here, but I'm running this one solo, and I really thought to myself about just like shutting down for the night. It's like 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. I could totally go eat dinner and call it a night. But one thing that I like to instill in every client that I work with, and anybody that's watching this, is, just putting in the work when nobody's watching. It's not necessarily about the results a lot of the time. It's about like staying on track towards your goals and keeping in line with commitments that you made to yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this extra time that I have now to actually go through the presentation that I did have prepared for the people that were going to show up. And I'm just going to drop this in the school community here so that anybody watching this can kind of go through their own pace and learn about the topic that I wanted to bring up this week. So yeah, I'll pretty much get right into it for you guys. So let's see if that screen shares. Perfect. Honestly, I guess before I even do this, I did have a whole presentation started here. Obviously, we got an agenda. If you haven't been on a group call yet, this is typically what it looks like. Obviously, there's nobody here, so I'm not going to be able to reenact it very well. But typically, we go through intro and wins. I like to go through top three wins of the week for clients that are working with me one on one. I always have a topic every single call that we have that I go into depth. So you'll definitely see that presentation if you keep watching. Then we'll do a hot seat. So one person will have a specific challenge or struggle that they've been facing in the last few days, last few weeks. And we'll kind of all come together to find different solutions for that. So it's not just me providing the coaching on these calls. It's pretty cool when you have like a community of guys like all attacking the same issue and some of the solutions that can come up. So I love doing that as well. Then just general Q&A, pretty easy, and then topic suggestions for the next call. And then what I like to do is set weekly commitments with everybody that jumps on here. My commitment for the last call was actually getting a bunch of guys on this call. I wanted to have like five people on this call, and obviously I didn't hit that commitment. So when I don't hit commitments, what I like to do and what I like to have my clients do is called restoring your integrity. And what that looks like is we're not trying to make you a bad person for missing out on your commitments. We're not trying to make it mean anything like that, but simply just fix it so that it doesn't happen next time. So the first step of this is just stating the commitment. My commitment was getting at least five people on this call, and I did not hit that commitment. Okay, so the second one, you don't need to apologize. You don't need to say sorry. You're not a bad person for this. It's simply what is a new system that you can implement to actually make sure that you don't miss this commitment again. So the commitment that I'm going to make moving forward is for all new clients that sign on for one-on-one coaching are required to attend at least one group call within their first 2 weeks of joining. That way, first off, they get to see the immense amount of value that I try to provide on these. They get to meet some of the guys, get a sense of community, and have people outside of myself doing the majority of the coaching, obviously, to help hold them accountable to anything that they want to create. So that's going to be my new system. I'm going to be implementing it for every new client that gets onboarded from here on out. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to get more people on these calls. So I'll get right into it. Obviously, intro wins. Nobody here. How is everyone showing up today? I'm showing up. I feel amazing. I'm feeling very powerful. Um, I guess I will share my win. I just made a sizable investment into this business through a mentorship. The reason behind this is because I'm always looking to just be the absolute best coach possible. I really think the pathway to success in business is by providing more value than any of your competition could possibly provide. And in order to do that, there's only one way. You got to learn from other people that have already done what you're trying to do. So I made an investment with another coach who scaled his business. And I just want to use that to just provide more value and ultimately, obviously, generate more referrals from you guys. By the way, we have a great referral program going on. Anybody that signs on for a 12-month package, whoever refer them, you get $500 straight cash in your pocket. Easy, take that. Um, but yeah, I truly believe that just by providing more value than any other coach in the industry, will just generate more referrals, more business for me. I obviously get to make more money. I get to change more lives. More people get to get in shape and like get more energy, improve their work, improve their businesses. So it's just a win-win all across. So yeah, I'm super, super happy to get started with that. And that's definitely my biggest win of the week this week. Now, top three client wins of the week. I wanted to shout out Michael Ranasinghe. Self-regulation. So One thing I want to kind of carve out is this guy proved something big this week. He had been struggling for a few weeks, just like not hitting his commitments and really relying on me more than anything for accountability. To the point where it simply wasn't working. Like I'm here to provide that accountability, but I'm definitely not a babysitter. So big shout out to this guy. What he actually wanted me to do, and I agreed, is we pulled back on the daily check-in text to see if he could actually run his own ship with zero communication on my end. And he didn't just hold it together. He put up his cleanest week in the last like 3 months, which is pretty sick. He had all his lifts in and logged. He played basketball. He had his food logged 9 days straight. He had the foreman on time, everything. And obviously, I wasn't chasing this week. So that's the version of this that we're all working towards. I think I've told everybody watching this, if you work with me one on one, I want this to be the last coaching program that you ever need. I want you to learn how to run these systems on your own once we're done. That's the purpose of this. So yeah, that's just like huge proof that he will eventually be able to do that. So yeah, that's where the discipline comes from you, not me. Huge week for Michael. Number two is Paul Zaccato. The man fit into a pair of pants he hadn't worn in 11 years and dropped a full waist size. 11 years. That's insane. On top of zero missed workouts despite dealing with some injuries and having to modify workouts a bit. That's what showing up every single day actually looks like. And the receipts are right there in his waist size. Number three, Noah Zimmerman. The week before this one was pretty fucking rough. He missed some lifts, didn't really track effectively, kind of just fell off the wagon for the week. We all have those bad weeks. But this week, he hit 5 out of his 5 lifts, every single one logged. Weigh-in was done, photos were in on time, all his food was logged, just locked in all the way. And that's just the best answer for a tough week. You don't dwell on it. You don't kind of keep riding that negative feedback loop. You just stack a clean one on top of it. So that's the kind of shit that I love to see. So that's the three. Everybody else watching this, keep putting the inputs on the board. And yeah, I want to see you guys on this list. I want to keep shouting people out. Feels super sick to be able to kind of provide the space for people to be putting up wins like this. So I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do this. Now on to the meat and potatoes. This week's topic. Here's what we're actually digging into today. It's a pretty big one because I've had a few clients kind of slide into this negative feedback loop that is associated with poor feedback from weigh-ins, having an off week, all that kind of stuff. But what I want to iterate here is whatever number you saw on the scale this week, it was pretty much already decided 2 weeks ago. And I think most of you are flying completely blind on this because I haven't really talked about it much. And a lot of the time we're reacting to the wrong week, basically every single week. And this shit can drive you insane when it really shouldn't. So I want to talk about fixing it today. So here's the core concept, and this is the thing I really need to land for you. Fat loss has a delayed feedback loop. What you think is happening is, but this week's scale equals this week's effort is just not true. A lot of people will think, oh man, like it was a perfect week. The scale better move. Like I probably lost like a pound, 2 pounds, whatever. Or on the flip side, it's like, oh shit, like I had a pretty bad weekend. Like I'll see the damage Monday morning. And that is a huge trap that a lot of people fall into. And it's not actually what the case is. What's actually happening is your scale this week is reflecting the last 1 to 2 weeks of effort, not the last few days. You've got glycogen, you've got water retention, you've got what's sitting in your gut, your recovery, all of that stuff delays how fast the scale responds to what you're actually doing. So when you do step on that scale today, you're not reading today. You know what I mean? You're reading like 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah, next slide. This is pretty much how the 2 week lag works. So I want to kind of walk you through how this plays out because once you see the timeline, I feel like it'll click. So, week one, you have the bender. Friday, you're drinking. Saturday, it's like a late dinner, some dessert. Sunday, you're hungover as shit. So you're like, Osmos, McDonald's, like all that greasy dog shit. Call it like 3,000 surplus calories on the week, whatever. Then you go in and weigh yourself on Wednesday morning. Your weight hasn't gone up. Maybe it's even gone down a bit. So you're like, oh shit, okay, let's go. Like I can have benders every weekend. This is sick. Hell no, man. Like, because then let me tell you, week two is gonna roll around and maybe the scale will stay flat. But now you're confused. You're like, okay, I had a decent week. I'm supposed to be losing weight. Nothing's moved. But in reality, your body's holding water from all that sodium and alcohol, and the glycogen is bouncing back. So you get caught in this trap where it's like, oh, I had a really great week. I'm not seeing results. Like, fuck. And then week three, the scale jumps up And like, this is the brutal part. That's the real fat from week one finally showing up. But in your head, you're like, oh my God, like, what did I do this week? Like, I don't get it. And it wasn't actually the week at all. And then week four, finally, the scale drops down again because all that discipline from weeks two and three is finally cashing in. But by then, a lot of people, especially ones that don't have a coaching relationship and don't have someone to like hold their hand and keep them accountable and like reassure them that like, hey, like we're still gonna make progress. They've already panicked, they've thrown in the towel, and they fucking quit. And that's the lag and that's the trap. Like it's so many people I've seen fall into this. So here's some quick math. So you see, I'm not just making this up. There's about 3,500 calories in an entire pound of fat. 500 a day is around the deficit that you want for a pound a week, give or take, depends on your metabolism, yada, yada, yada. But then 2 weeks of lag before the scale actually catches up to what you did. So when you do have that one bad weekend, that's like 2,000 plus surplus calories that aren't even going to show up until week three. And like I said, by then you're just sitting there beating yourself up over the completely wrong week. And that's what we're trying to get you out of. So this is why just reacting to the scale, the wrong move every, oh, sorry. This is why reacting to the scale is the wrong move every single time. If the scale didn't move, the wrong instinct is to go slash your calories right away. You don't want to do that. The right move is to look back at the last 2 weeks of inputs before you touch anything. If the scale jumped up on you, the wrong instinct is, oh shit, like I screwed up the week. The right move is to look back 7 to 14 days, figure out what actually caused it. And this is the sneaky one, okay? This is where a ton of people get caught. The scale drops. The wrong move is to like celebrate, win, like, okay, loosen up on the diet this week, have a little cheat meal. Go ahead, treat yourself. Like, fuck that. That drop is 2 weeks of hard work paying off. So the right move is to recognize that, keep your foot on the gas pedal. And dude, it's like the same exact number on the scale, but totally different reaction depending on whether you get the leg or not. So here's pretty much the framework. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong slide there. So the framework is, oh no, this is it. Yeah. 3 simple rules to stop you from reacting to the wrong week. Rule number one, look back 2 weeks, not at this week, before you just anything, before you touch your calories or training or hit the panic button, go and check the last 14 days of logs because that scale is really just a delayed report card on what you did 2 Saturdays ago. Rule two, trust your inputs, not the outputs. This applies to literally everything, guys. I work with a ton of business owners. If you run a business, you know this. You can't rely on like your revenue as being like the major tell of how well you did any given week, any given month. It's like, what inputs did we do? How many ads did we run? How well did they convert? How many conversations did we have? Like all these different things. So I want you to just focus on the inputs, especially with something like your health and fitness. And then rule three, when the scale does move, ask yourself why now, not just what just happened. Trace it back these 14 days, reverse engineer it, because that's honestly how you start building a real model of how your own body works. So now we're on the right side. Big idea. If you take one thing away from today, let it be this. Your job is not to react to the scale. Your job is to keep your inputs perfect, even when that scale is straight up lying to your face for 2 weeks. Trust the process, track the inputs. The scale will catch up. It always does every time. I can promise you that. I promise you. So yeah, that's the presentation for the week. Typically, we would jump in and do some hot seats. Obviously, there's nobody here to do that this week, so all good. Same thing with the Q&A, and then obviously topic suggestions for next week. So if you are watching this, thank you for taking the time. Hopefully, you got a ton of value from this. Just drop a little comment. Let me know what topics you want to get for the next call, and yeah, I'll keep dropping these recordings in the school group so you guys can like come back and reference them. But obviously, it's a lot better live when we have some people jumping in and working through on these. Then we would do commitments for the week. So these are public commitments that I want people to make so that it's not just me holding them accountable. So I like to do three different topics: training, nutrition, life. So for me, pretty on top of my shit. I gotta be. I'm a coach. What my training schedule looks like right now is 4 lifts per week, and then 3 sessions of Muay Thai and 2 runs. So that's going to be my commitment for the week. I'm going to hit all 4 lifts. I'm going to hit 2 runs. I'm going to do 3 sessions of Muay Thai. Yeah, done and dusted. No problem. I'll be back hitting that. Nutrition right now for my daily calorie target is 2,500, and I'm doing a 24-hour fast once a week. So my plan for this weekend specifically, because I actually am going to be going out and having a few drinks. I'm going to a Jays game with a few friends. Basically, what I'm going to do is stay true to that fast. The reason I have that is that I can have flexibility on the weekends. And then just following the alcohol protocol that we do have in the school group as an additional resource. So basically, just making sure that my first two meals of the day are super clean, super lean. I'm going to really, really limit my fat intake. Even on the dinner after the game, I'm going to get like a lean cut of steak, some vegetables, potatoes, going to keep it lean because you really want to avoid eating a ton of fat, or especially around drinking periods. So that's my plan for that. And then life, one specific thing you'll commit to outside the gym this week. So I have a timeline and a ton of like boxes to check in terms of my first week with this new mentorship. So my commitment is going to be just nailing that perfectly, hitting all my inputs, knowing that the outcomes will eventually come. So I'm going to stay 100% on track with that, and that's going to be my last commitment for this week. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the call here. Big theme, trust the inputs, the scale will catch up, and this applies to everything else, guys. Like if you're running the business, trust the inputs, all the rewards will pay off. Like that's part of the reason that I'm doing this. This is a part of the inputs that I do to build this community and like really provide as much value as possible for my clients, for you guys watching this. It would have been easy to just fuck off tonight. And, my girlfriend's coming over soon. I'm gonna cook her dinner, whatever. Like, could have left early and done that, no problem. But, the entire name of the game is just putting in the work and trusting that the results will come from it. So that's what I want you guys to take away from this call specifically. So hope you guys got a ton of value, and I'll see you on the next one.